It started out that before rodeo, Wild West shows came into existence. And the first go-around of that was with one of our national heroes, a fellow named Buffalo Bill Cody, who was living at North Platte, Nebraska at the time of the country's centennial. And the idea of North Platte at the time was, let's do a big celebration. And so what they described it as an Old Glory blowout. We're going to turn it up big to celebrate the centennial of the United States. And previously, Buffalo Bill had worked as a guide for the United States Army, as a buffalo hunter who was providing meat for the railroads. So his most recent career was in the American West and about the American West, or at least how we today perceive the American West. And so part of that, the whole nature of celebrating the cowboy as kind of a symbol of manifest destiny was incorporated into this 1876 Old Glory blowout. And it was a rousing local success. And so Cody and a couple other guys got together and thought, we can take this thing on the road. And so they cooked up a theater presentation about their thrilling adventures in the American West. The idea that you could go somewhere and see Buffalo Bill Cody, who was a celebrity figure by this point, was enough. And ultimately, it was enough that he could trade off of his name to develop another entertainment form, which is to take those things from the Old Glory blowout and combine a series of actors and actual people from the American West, both cowboys, explorers, military, and American Indians, and take this show on the road and to give actually an earnest interpretation of life in the American West. We look at early Wild West shows, and they described what we would call rodeo events now as quote unquote cowboy fun. And the whole idea is, either bronc busting, which was part of the job, or calf roping, which was part of the job of the Westerner, and a few of the other events that have evolved into very specific rodeo events were things that were out of the everyday life of cowboys, but could be effectively evolved into a contest. Let's be really frank about this. Guys get together, and whether it's your car as I can go faster than the other guy, or whether it's on the football field or the basketball court, there's this natural tendency to take everyday things and play and evolve it into a contest. Sometimes a highly evolved contest. And the same thing is true with rodeo events, they started out as being derived from everyday activities, but it's like, okay, if I can rope a calf, I can rope a calf in less time than Cowboy B can rope a calf. And so you see the evolution of these contests. And Buffalo Bill and the Old Glory blowout of 76 originated some of those events that now we see highly evolved into the modern rodeo that we see today. And that's one of the reasons that rodeo will continually and effectively present itself as inherent in the Western psyche and the history of the United States.